They left my cushion.
Huh?
They left my cushion.
They
My
did?
computer was all the way down there. Hers was all the way down there.
Yes. Here, so they're ready to go. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our regular call board meeting on September 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the Central Office Board of Education. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First on our agenda today, we have our recognitions. We have our mountain movers, Mr. Saylor.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's back up. And I don't know, it got left out accidentally. Let's do our
Got the
pledge.
pledge.
Yeah.
It's not on our agenda.
Yeah, it's
We
okay. Can't start without the pledge.
Do we have a couple of boys and girls that like to come up here and lead us in the pledge? Come on up front. Come on up here. Come on, you guys can lead us in the pledge. Come right here and stand beside me. Our flag's right here. There you go. All right, look at the flag right there. And you guys start us out. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys.
Can you tell everyone what your name is? What's your name? What's your name? Kennedy. All right, Kennedy. Thank you. What's your name?
Michael.
Thanks.
Michael. Thank you all
Thank you,
very
Michael.
much.
There are no revisions either. So I let Rebecca down. I didn't catch that.
Okay, Mr. Saylor reports there are no revisions to our agenda. Sorry about that.
Sign in as well.
And we also have a sign-in slip or sheet here at the door if you'd like to sign in. At this time, Mr. Saylor, we have recognitions on our agenda.
Yes, we're going to start with our mountain movers, and we have Abby with us tonight, and Abby's going to get us rolling here. And we're just doing one at a time.
Our first mountain mover is for community, and it's Parties of Irving. The general manager is Lisa Walden. Parties opened in 1989 and been in operation for 33 years. In those 32 years, they have sponsored more events for relief efforts, students and families in Estill County that it would be impossible to list. General manager Lisa stated that the Parties employees travel clean and they work so well together as a team. That's pretty obvious if you've been in business for 33 years.
Come on,
Yeah, she
Miss
is.
Lisa. Yeah, she's here.
Andrew, can you take pictures? You got a camera? And I'm gonna give you a medal of excellence for what Hardee's does for us. And I tell you what, they're fantastic guys. Give you an example, during the flood relief, we were going to purchase breakfast for the refugees that was stationed at Wolf County High School. Hardee stepped up, said, no, we've got it. We're taking care of it. And we appreciate it. They do stuff like that all the time. So if you guys want to get there, I'll let you all sit together.
For those of you that don't know, my dad is the mayor of Parties of the Morning. He's one of her coffee drinkers.
And they know my voice when I go to the drive-thru. In my order. Watch it.
Sorry about that.
Okay, Miss Abby.
Our next one is our classified mountain mover, Miss Tish Renninger, the guidance and attendance clerk at ECHS. Tish began working for the Estill County Schools 13 years ago. She is currently the jack of all trades at the high school, but has worked as a bus aide, paraeducator, and clerk at South Irving and the bus garage. She started her work as a volunteer at South Irving and Estill Springs, and is now the guidance clerk and attendance clerk at Estill County High School. Tish says her job is very fast-paced, so she never has time to think about everything she loves about her job. She said she thinks one of the best things about her job is that she gets to see students with enormous barriers succeed, even when people told them they wouldn't. Ms. Renfrew?
I don't think she's with us today, but we really appreciate her, and I will give this to Mr. Yost, and Mr. Yost, you can make sure that, she receives it. All three of you sit together, so you come them all together. And that is the paper.
Our next one. Individuals in this role often are overlooked and seldom are recognized due to the fact they are not placed inside a specific school. They provide unwavering support to teachers of all experience levels, but especially those who are first years or begin their teaching career in an alternate. They provide resources, modeling, coaching, and training, just to mention a few of their services. They provide help and support to principals and district leaders in curriculum development, teacher development, and professional learning. These women have been instrumental in organizing and planning some schools. The coordination and planning for district activities such as this can be a daunting task. Their communication and organization has been unwavering. From organizing transportation needs to the recruitment of teachers, the academic focus of instruction. With the reconfiguration of Estill Springs and West Irving, these individuals have been instrumental in aligning the curriculum and the selection, purchase, and implementation of the new reading and math programs, K through 5. This world would not have happened if it had not been for them. For their dedication, work to our teachers and students, these women have spent countless hours on phone calls to vendors. They have spent many hours meeting with teachers and district administrators. They have spent many hours of their own personal time to make sure that everything was done just right. All three of these individuals are a great example of the teaching profession. They know what it is like to be in the classroom where the rubber meets the road. We are so blessed to have them. All three of these individuals are future leaders of this district. They move mountain behind the scenes in the limelight, and they are deserving of this award. Following are April
Tigmar.
Yeah. Come on up, ladies. We'll call y'all up together.
Jolyn Owens, and Tanya Hill.
I just want to say the work that they've done is invaluable. And I appreciate them very much. And I know that our schools at West and Springs appreciate the work that they've done. So congratulations, ladies, for your recognition. And ladies, you know, have a little bit, you know, find among you. Sharing it. I think Backstreet Grub is still our sponsor for our community mountain movers, and we appreciate our mountain movers at this time.
All of these folks tonight were very deserving of these awards, and we appreciate you. Next on our agenda, we have our school student presentations from the Estill County High School.
And we have Mr. Yost here with us. They need a microphone, Jeremy?
Only different keeps me being quiet.
And we also have Miss Victoria with us and Miss Tasha with us, both the assistant principals.
All right, thank you all for being here this evening. First off, before we turn it over to two groups that have been instrumental in some of our student success so far this year, I do want to introduce to you all the board, our two new assistant principals this year, Mrs. Victoria Barnett and Mrs. Tasha Halcomb, if you two would stand. we're only a month into school, but the impact they've already made on the culture and academic progress of the school is absolutely amazing, and so I'm very lucky to have them working with me. When I went to Estill 3 years ago now, it seems like a long time ago, the first thing that we were told was the challenge for any high school, the greatest challenge for any high school, is you have to figure out how to prepare students for both college and career in the same building at the same time. And you've got to be able to put students on the pathway to success on both those avenues. So tonight for our presentation, we have two groups that have been critical to that. The first group we'll introduce in just a moment is our Gear Up program. They are wonderful in working with our students for preparation for both college and career success. And then I've also invited, thanks to the board, I've invited Miss Tammy Combs from the ATC, the principal, to come and join us tonight. And both of those groups have some of our students with them to talk about some of the things they've done with Gear Up and then some of the awesome things that the ATC is doing, especially in regard to preparing our students for future careers, as well as repairing the Chromebooks that you all have so generously invested in over the years. So I have both those groups coming tonight, and I will be quiet, and I will turn it over to my wonderful Gear Up ladies. We've got Miss Kristen Kirkland, Miss Maggie Kessler, and Miss Kayla Tuttle here tonight.
Do you want to go ahead and turn the presentation on?
How to do this stuff.
It's what you get paid the big money for.
So it's really hard to really describe what we do just by talking. So we have put together kind of a presentation of just our big highlights of what we do in the high school. Yep. Next.
So I'm Maggie Kessler. I'm an academic interventionist out at the high school with Europe. I do the math part, and part of what I do, and our English, who is up here tonight, we're in classrooms, math and ELA. Basically, just another body in the room there to help kids in class and outside of class. We focus on the sophomores and the juniors. Right now, we've got about 198 sophomores, 158 juniors that we are providing services for. A lot of stuff we've got going on, like the STEM days, the Kentucky Science Center, the 4-H University of Kentucky stuff. That's like, they're coming in, they're doing STEM and science activities with our students in the classroom. Something that I think is kind of cool that our kids are going to get the opportunity to see this year is the Pulse of Surgery program. I think that's where they're going to get to watch an actual surgery being performed, which I don't want anything to do with, but for some kids, that's going to be a really cool experience. But something that I'm most excited about, and I know our math teachers at least are super excited about, is that our kids, our sophomores and juniors, by the end of their junior year, they're going to have the opportunity to take the ACT 3 times free. They are not having to pay for that. So last year, our workshops, pep rallies for them. So that in itself is a very great opportunity for our students.
Okay, my name is Kayla Tuttle, and I am a CCN, which is a college and career navigator, along with Kristen. So we work more on helping them figure out what they want to do in their career or what college they would like to attend. And we also do a lot of community work. So we have a leadership club that meets during the club days at our school. And we last year did the Elizabeth Witt Christmas party. We went and helped them do the wrapping and packing all the bags for that. And then our kids actually came back that Saturday and helped pass them out to the kids in the community for that. Tomorrow, we are preparing a blood drive at
the high school, which has been all my day has consisted of today. And then we do Gear Up Family Engagement Nights, where we invite the students and their families to come in and pick up meal kits and different bags that usually include like a STEM kit and things like that. This year we are implementing reading buddies at South Irving. They've been so nice to let us come and do that. In October, we're going to take some kids that are interested in education field and get them in the classrooms at South Irving and let them read a book to the kids. We also have Gear Up Week at the end of September. It's pretty much just promoting us, letting kids know that we're here to talk to them if they need us by doing all kinds of fun things with them. And then our summer college road trip, which I'll talk a little bit more later, but we took some kids on a trip over the summer, and it was so awesome to see them have that opportunity. Go to the next one. So these are some of the college and career trips that we have taken and are on our wish list to take. The EKU College Fair we just did last week. There was over 25 different colleges, in-state and out-of-state, community colleges, four-year colleges, all kinds of different routes that they could take and talk to representatives at that school. Just Tuesday, we took a trip to Georgetown with the kids. That was kind of like a targeted group of kids that were interested in that college. We have some other trips coming up, MedQuest. We have a Hot Expo in Somerset that it focuses on medical careers. And then just a whole list of industry and college visits that our kids are interested in visiting.
So this is a calendar that we put together. This is our fall calendar. Everything that we have scheduled for the cohort at the high school. I think we posted on Facebook, and then we also sent it emails and Google Classrooms to all the teachers. So that's just kind of a quick run of our fall schedule, and we'll hopefully be posting our spring schedule closer to that date. So. Next is the summer college road trip. Kayla kind of talked about it for a second, but last year was our first year ever doing that. We took a 3-day overnight trip, and we went to Western Kentucky. So we packed up and hit the road with 20 Gear Up students, and we went to Western Kentucky, Somerset Community College, the University of Kentucky, the Corvette Museum. We had scheduled the Lost River Cave tours, but we got rained out. But hopefully we'll be able to do something similar to that this coming summer. All of these schools we really wanted to target on is because we were not physically able to get to those schools in a normal school day. So we're hoping to do that again this next coming summer and to get to schools that we can't physically get to on a normal school day. Also, during that day, we did a lot of STEM activities in the afternoons. The kids got to explore a lot of different careers based on each college that we went to. And then there was a lot of mini first, which is amazing to me. We try to take them to different restaurants that they would not have opportunities for. But just seeing their first, even though they're in high school, was really amazing for us. So, and I think, is there one more slide? That's it, okay. So I have actually 2 students with us today, Carson and Ethan. They both have been in Gear Up since they were back in middle school. So I just wanted them to kind of tell you all what they've done and what they've learned throughout the years with Gear Up. So.
Hello, my name is Ethan, and I've been in Gear Up since 8th grade, so about 3 years. Gear Up has done a lot for me. I can definitely say that. Definitely catching up on work has been one of the struggles for me. but with Gear Up, I have been able to catch up on work and actually succeed in a lot of my classes.
Hello, I'm Carson. Gear Up for me, I've been in it since the 6th grade, about 5 years. A lot last year, it helped me keep my work up, and I would always go on any trip I could to the colleges to see the opportunities I had. One of the things Gear Up has done for us, it's actually gave us many in-class activities to do, like whenever we dissected a sheep eye, or they brought someone in to show us many different chemical reactions. I thought those activities were actually pretty fun. And it got my interest in chemistry a lot better than what Blackwell has.
Another thing that Gear Up has helped me with is being a leader. We went on a trip to, was it EKU? EKU for a leadership conference where a bunch of Gear Up community around different schools all came together. Pretty much just help you become a better leader. And it definitely has improved me. And well, one way it's helped me is speech. I definitely wouldn't be able to come up here and talk to all of you. But it's definitely been fun. Gear Up has helped me a lot, especially in school, and building my future is a big part of it. It's helped me with a bunch of colleges, and like she said, we went on a trip to Georgetown, and really it piqued my interest. And super excited to explore more and help build my future further.
One of the other opportunities Gear Up has given me was to go to the Kentucky Welding Institute to help me learn more about welding as a career and how it's done. It's definitely piqued my interest a lot more, and I'm hoping to get into the welding classes next year.
So lastly, we actually received this morning, so it's kind of really fitting. But a student wrote us a letter of gratitude to us, and I just wanted to read this because it's really touching. Just the impact that we make just in the classroom, to taking them on college visits, to industry visits, and so forth. So it reads, in Miss King's class, we were given an assignment to write a letter of gratitude to a teacher here at the high school. So when I came to the second prompt, I just really did not know who to write my second letter to. So I thought really hard about it and decided to write to all of you all. Gear Up has really helped me in so many ways. First, I just want to thank you for the impact that you make on all of us students. Next, I want to thank you all individually. Thank you to Ms. Kessler for all that you have taught me in geometry, and all that you have me with in the math classes this year. Thank you to Ms. Kirkland and Ms. Tuttle for the trips that you have taken us on this last year and let me come in and talk to you all and help me. Mr. Pruitt, I am so thankful for you coming into the high school to help me with English. I wanted to thank all of you and say how thankful I am for you all. Gear Up has helped me in so many ways. If you would like to write me back, you're more than welcome to. So this is from a student that it's really touching. So from knowing the student and so forth. So there you go.
Thank you so much again to our Gear Up group. Two things I want to emphasize again that I'm so proud of them for working on is the fact, again, that students will be able to take the ACT for free at least 3 times during their high school career because of the efforts of Gear Up. And it's all about opening doors for students. So one of the other big goals for this year is, we said, as we're getting back to normal and able to travel again now, we wanted every sophomore and junior to be able to take a college visit during this school year so they can see the world that's available to them once they graduate from high school. So I'm very grateful to all of you all for the work you do for our students. So thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Miss Tammy Combs, principal of the Estill Area Technology Center. She's here with, I believe, Mr. Rose and 2 more of our students. 3, I'm sorry. I saw 2. Oh, you have 3 now. Okay. Got 3 of our students along with Mr. Rose and Ms. Combs, and they're going to talk to you about some of the work our students are doing in more of the career-based field over at the ATC this year.
Hello, I'm Mr. Rose. I teach computer science at Estill County ATC. These are my guys here with the Chromebooks, working on the Chromebooks. Jared Abney, Caleb Harkins, and Caden Godby. And what we did between me and Jeremy, we came up with the program to help repair Chromebooks and give them some hands-on experience. So I'll let Caden tell you, or I guess Caden start off.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, we receive Chromebooks from 4 schools across the district, including West Irving, Estill Springs, the middle school and the high school. And we do an order of parts every week to repair all the Chromebooks from a variety of issues. And yeah. In order to fix them, we have to take them apart and fix them by taking a new part and putting it into the Chromebooks. Usually it displays keyboards, touchpads, internal components, basic stuff like that. And we're even starting to troubleshoot some that don't really have a particular issue. It's just kind of given to us with the ticket of won't turn on or is not holding a charge. And so we'll have to do some troubleshooting and some research to figure that out. And it's a really great learning experience, and I have a lot of fun doing it with these 2 guys and Mr. Rose. And I'm really glad that we all had the opportunity to do that this year.
Another thing that Caden didn't touch on that we actually do is whenever we receive the Chromebooks, we have made our own database to help inventory them all. So we'll put them in on dates ordered or dates collected, dates repaired, the number tags, serial tags, all that fun stuff. And what we do after that is we will actually go through the order list, what we've done, and try to get back to the school as fast as possible, hopefully getting them back instead of 3 months down to maybe a month, 2 weeks at the most. So that way we won't have to wait 3 months for new Chromebooks to come back into the students.
Yeah, we get really good experience doing it. I always thought it's one thing to get certifications, and it's another to get experience and a certification at the same time. Getting them all at the same time. It's kind of convenient instead of going out and spending a ton of money getting a certification and experience. So, yeah.
Well, so I'm new here. Thank you for welcoming me. It's awesome. The school is awesome. The kids are great. The ATC is moving forward, as you can see in the IT program, not just fixing the Chromebooks, but they're also getting dual credit for this class, CIT 111. We've worked with BCTC over the past 2 weeks. They came to school this week, so that class will get dual credit. Certifications. Do you want to talk about your certifications?
Well, we've got what we offer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we have about 8, 10, I don't even know how many certifications that the kids can get. but so far we've already got 10 this year. So, and I mean, the school year just started, and we actually would have more, but we're waiting on vouchers. Not anything to do with, it's basically the state has to distribute us vouchers, and it takes some time, you know, and they're not really expecting kids to be ready the first month of school to get a certification. And that's what happens when you got kids like this that work really, really hard and they're prepared, you know. Like Caden tried to finish the certification before the end of last year and couldn't. He finished it early this year, and Jared's on the same path, so is Caleb. They're both like really close to getting it finished, but right now with other certs, we're waiting on the state to distribute the vouchers that we need to take the test. So we would really have more, but
that'll happen.
yeah, it'll happen.
It'll happen. So I think seeing that they tell us that they're learning and using what they're learning is what the ATC is all about. You can see it in the IT program, the health science program with Miss Crow. She's doing nurse aid right now, but you've probably seen her out in the community doing CSEP. She was at the hospital this week with the kids. She was at the high school the other night till late with another group of kids, so they're out in the community working. They're also doing dual credit. She gets dual credit for nurse aid and emergency procedures, and she's working really hard, and they're very excited. IMT for industrial maintenance. The big thing for him right now is he offers dual credit for every class he teaches. The kids are in there working, so if you're following our Facebook, get on there and see those kids. They're awesome, and they're loving every single minute of everything they're doing. It's great. So come see us and see what's going on. Allison's doing CAD 201. That's her dual credit right now, which is advanced design applications, I think it's called. But anyway, they're working really hard. Electricity's working really hard. NCCR, that's something they didn't have last year, so I need to make a point that we do have that this year, and they're currently working on it. I don't really have an update as to where they are, but I know that they have to finish 30 different units to complete it, and I know that there's kids in their 4th or 5th test right now, so they're moving forward with that. Cody and Diesel, he is offering 2 dual credits, DIT 103 and 110. And he and I did a meeting last night, and he's doing ASE certification. So that's moving forward with him. So we have a lot going on. Come see us.
Computer science, I forgot to mention too, so you can go and spread the word. We're going to try to get, like, once we get this going and we kind of get a good, I guess, technique or inventory system or whatever, I don't know what you want to call it, but we're going to try and start doing repairs for the community too. So like laptop repairs, desktop repairs, things like that. So if you have people that may have computer problems, then we're going to try to get a website made, and then people can submit like a form, and they can just basically tell us what they got going on, and then set up an appointment and bring their technology or whatever to the ATC and let these kids work on it. So sorry I didn't.
No, good. We need to know all these things. Our current enrollment at the ATC is 304 students. So we want to get more of those kids in there. So we're actively in recruiting. Yeah. Another thing that you may not know about the ATC, but every single program has to have an STR 12.6, which essentially means about, student-teacher ratio 12.6, which is about 76, 78 students in the programs. Last year, we had 3 that did not meet that criteria. And as of today, every single program is at or above our STR. So we're really happy about that. Yeah. And I think our big thing is also our student organizations, our CTOs. Yeah, we have met with every single one of them, Skills USA, HOSA, and TSA, and they are getting ready to have their first meetings tomorrow and helping them get through that.
Fundraisers, buy candy, buy all the food that you see them buy it.
Right, so they're excited.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Let me real quick just say, this is Tammy's official welcome to our school district. And of course, the ATC is operated by the Kentucky Department of Education, so technically it's not one of our schools. We basically supply the facility, basically on lease to KDE, and we're really excited to have Tammy as our new principal. She had a long career at Lee County as a health science teacher there, and I know she's was a fantastic teacher, and she's bringing that experience to her new role as principal at the ATC, and we're fortunate to have her. And I'm telling you, the Area Technology Center is a game changer for this community. It's a beautiful facility. If you've not had the opportunity to see it, there'll be other opportunities. There'll be an open house here coming up sometime this fall, I would think, with the high school and ATC. If you've not had the opportunity to do it, get out and see us.
Yeah, November 15th, put this on your calendar. We are, go ahead and do it now. We're having what we call Atc Spotlight Night. And each program will have their students there, and they will be spotlighting things they're doing in their labs. You can tour at that night, and then we'll have our advisory council meeting afterwards. So we need industry support, and our instructors will be contacting teachers and industry to come that night as well. So it's this is going to be a big night for us. Yep.
Will you have snacks?
Oh, food, absolutely.
And then that's a reason to come out. One other thing I would let you know about, something that's very unique to Estill County ATC is our Partners in Education program. So far, our community partners have already given over $160,000 in support of the Area Technology Center, and that is unheard of in the state of Kentucky. So we are very blessed to have partners in education that are willing to help our kids and help our programs. So again, welcome to the school district, and I'll turn it back to Mr. Yost for closing remarks. Thank you.
I just want to close by saying, thank you to Mr. Saylor and to the board, because without your support for our partnerships with programs like Gear Up and with the Estill ATC, our students would not have all the opportunities that they have. And as we're coming back out of COVID, that's the big goal this year, is to expand those opportunities for students. And with your support for these programs, it's allowing us to do just that by letting our students see all the opportunities that are available to them. So thank you all.
Also, Mr. Moore at this time, if he would come forward, and I'm sort of jumping the gun here on Miss Isford, but we've got a NISL presentation as well. And 4 years ago now, we started making sure that our administrators, we wanted to make sure that they had the best training possible in order to lead our schools. And we got started, and we were able to introduce our first couple of NISL graduate classes. I know Miss Isaacs was part of that. I believe that Andrea was part of that, and I'm not sure if Jess has already been recognized, and there's one other, I can't remember, maybe it was it Lisa? Lisa. Mickey's already been, but we've not recognized everybody yet. So what we're trying to do is recognize everybody this year and try to get caught up. We also have a brand new class that involves both of our high school assistant principals and Mr. Willis here at the central office. But since the high school is presenting tonight, and Mr. Moore is working very closely with the high school as part of the Success Academy and Credit Recovery. So though our programs go hand in hand, so I want to recognize both of these individuals tonight for receiving their NISL certification and completion of the program. Mr. Yost, I think you've already got your certificate, but there's one from us, and here is Mr. Moore's. And I would also like to present both of y'all with the Medal of Excellence for your hard work for our students and our schools. So thank you all very much, and I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for what you do. You guys want to say anything? Mr. Moore, we've heard from Josh. You got anything?
I'm just tickled to death to be here, honestly. No, I appreciate Mr. Saylor and the board for sending me to NISL. It was challenging. There was a lot of work involved. There was 2 days out of the district, and I still had a lot of stuff to balance here. Made me better at what I do, and more than anything, just collaborating with other administrators and teachers from around the state. You think about somebody from GRC. We're not that similar. Their school looks different than our school. And me, as the alternative school principal, A lot of the stuff wasn't applicable, but what was talking to others that, come from a different setting, and you're thinking, we don't really have a lot in common, but we learned from each other. So it was a great learning experience. I appreciate it.
Tell us one other thing. Are you getting any sleep?
I'm getting plenty of sleep. That's not a problem. Cassidy gets up every 3 hours. I'm getting plenty.
He's got a brand new baby girl. So,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
If anyone would like to exit at this time, now's your chance. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. You have to tell my dad. Good job, guys. I'm proud of you.
Y'all shouldn't get in trouble for talking too much, that's for sure.
I'll make sure to call your phone 10 o'clock at night, wake that baby up.
Bye, you all. Thank you. Bye. Guys, here, thank you all.
I don't think that would work.
It's me.
I didn't hear anything coming to the speaker,
I will. I'll text Leslie.
just for recording purposes.
I should have told you all that. And, we hadn't communicated, I don't guess, and I apologize for that. We've got about 6 more initial graduates to recognize. So we'll be doing that over the next few months. When their schools present, we'll be recognizing them.
Be careful.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Saylor, this brings us down to our facilities and construction update.
Well, it puts us in the hands of Mr. Peter Fisher.
Peter.
and
First
Mr.
on the
Casey's here.
Yeah, first on the agenda, we have the Estill County High School Phase 7 renovation project. Give us an update, Peter. Or Casey, give us an update, Casey.
He's there all the time.
Well, I don't know. We're getting close to close to the final completion. Got a few things we're kind of tying up right now. Gym's in process of being painted. Hopefully students will have access to that around the 1st of October. Still the plan. I think there still may be some lingering things out in the lobby, the trophy case stuff, just, supply chain issues. I think we'll be lacking some glass in the trophy case, but everything else should be in. Concession stand, I think everything should be up and running in there. And then gym should be, as good as new. What are we working on now? Kind of going through and just tying up loose ends at the football stadium and the field house. I think they've got the rubber flooring started going in the locker room yesterday. I think the heating and air contractor is setting a makeup air unit that goes outside the field house. Basically, hopefully it just helps pull the stink out of that place. I think that's all it's for. I mean, but to get fresh air in there and pump it out of all those sweaty, pads and all that stuff.
We've been in there, Mr. Saylor. It gets a little funky in there.
Just a little. Just a little.
Us old coaches, though, you go in there and you feel right at home.
You don't even smell anything.
No, it's it's
don't even
just
smell it.
inside you. You don't even pay no attention to it.
You're gonna
It's
take the
part
funk
of
out of the building.
Yeah.
We've had a couple little issues. I think the air is still down right there in the main office there at the high school. There is a software failure, I guess, in the new heat pump they installed right there. Fortunately, we've been pretty lucky with the weather, so it hadn't been too hot and broiling, but, hopefully by, the end of this week, first of next week, it'll be back up and running.
We didn't tell Mr. Yost, but that's part of his weight loss plan. We're trying to sweat.
I was hoping Austin was going to be in there too. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them. But I mean, we're just kind of punch along. They're going to start, you may have seen them working on pouring those steps from the ATC down to the high school. They've been Rising Sun's been working on that this week. Next week, they're going to start that shot put and discus up there behind the ATC. You know, other than that, I mean, it's going to be basically going back through once the architect or the engineers, you know, do their punch list and stuff. We'll work off, you know, small items here. Now, there is some landscaping issues where, you know, some of the islands up in the back parking lot, we're not even going to touch those until the weather kind of breaks here first part of October, because there's no water out there and it's just a pain to keep it alive. So they're going to come in, take everything out and redo it. And it's just a few small areas there behind the high school.
What about the intercom system between the main building and the gym?
I got no idea. They're still working on it. There's actually a, have you talked to Amtech about that?
I know Jeremy's been in contact with them. We're still trying to track it down. There's a wire cut somewhere, but they'll find it. If they don't find it, we'll have to run a new wire, but we'll get it taken care of. I know that right now, I think they've got substantial completion sometime around the end of September for everything that's outstanding.
Will it also be access to the new greenhouse?
Yes, the greenhouse there.
That will be done at the end of the month as well.
It's supposed to, it would have been done, but there was a couple of boxes in terms of the electrical work in there that either just turned up missing or wasn't shipped or were misplaced, and I know they're on order, should be here anytime. So things are very slowly wrapping up. I do know they'll be doing a bunch of landscaping this weekend out there. Casey has actually moved on to Estill Springs. He worked there for a while with Jack, and I know that he's going to be our construction manager. So you'll be seeing Casey during the Estill Springs project quite a bit. So get used to seeing them. We'll just have to live with what we got.
Where's he from?
We'll go
Wow.
Casey, where are you from? Where are you from originally?
Louisville. Born and raised in Louisville. I live in Winchester now.
See, that's, he's Indiana by birth, and if he come from Louisville, but,
Y'all I guess you grew up Indiana and Louisville in together now.
but, we're really glad to have him on the coming project, and, I know that everybody's ready to see it wrap up. It's there. It's 95, 96% complete. There's just a few wrap-up items, and, they're on top of things, so we'll get it wound down here in the next few days.
All right, so that brings us to our consideration or approval of special inspection invoices. Do you want to talk about that?
That's, all your projects have special inspections, and of course, that's your testing of concrete and different items as they're installed and making sure things are installed properly. And, this is an invoice for, this past month of $7,275, and my recommendation is you approve that invoice.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the invoice as discussed? Ms. Sheila makes a motion. Do we have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote at this time. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Aye.
Oh, there's Carrie Smallwood.
Carrie chiming in.
Almost forgot her.
I know.
It's Carrie, so that makes it a 5-0 vote. Okay, next we have consideration or approval of pay estimate number 12 for the high school Phase 7 renovation project.
You have the attachment. You've had it for a few days now. It's for $1,419,216.32. It's been reviewed by both Codell and Ross Tarrant, and it's ready for payment. My recommendation is to do so.
I need an approval or a motion to approve payment of, do I have a motion? Brian makes a motion. Do we have a second? Sheila Samples makes a second. Do we have any discussion at this time? All in favor? Miss Carrie? Thank you.
We got you. Thank you, Carrie.
So motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration or approval of change order 1-3, 8-1, 8-2, 13-6, and 15-6.
And Peter, if you want to help me on this, but I think today when we were talking to Kenny, and Kenny apologizes, by the way, Kenny is coaching, so he's starting to hang out in their locker room a whole lot more too, I think, with the football team. But these change orders, they can all be.
Blitz, does he?
No, I don't think so. He plays, I'd say Kenny plays it safe. You know, he's one of these play it safe coaches.
Yeah.
But the 5 change orders, they can all be taken as one motion, but the change order to Stanford is really a no-cost change order to you. There was some damage to blacktop. So what this does is it pays Stanford and it takes this away from the other 2 contractors that shared responsibility for the damage, which I believe is D and E.
Yes.
Is what that stands for. Then there was some, a change order to Farrell Calhoun, and I'm not for sure that one was.
It's direct purchase order change. It was taken out of Farrell Calhoun and put into Baston. And so it's a $0
Farrell
swap
Calhoun
for
did
the
not
board.
supply the materials through the DPO, so it had to go back to Baston, and it's really a no-cost change order as well. I mean, the total cost of these change orders to the board was less than $9,000, I believe, altogether. So you look at those amounts, it appears to be a lot of money going out, but it's really not. So my recommendation is for you all to approve those change orders, and once that's done, I believe the only change order or any item left out there is the changes to the gym lobby, which was to finish the all the tile that goes all the way up the stairwell and into the upper arena. And also there was a change made in the casework within the concession stand that was original, and it will not be for a whole lot of money. I think it's we're practically finished. You're not going to see many other changes. I wouldn't think, unless they ran into something like the pads, concrete pads for shot put and discus. We still got a retaining wall to remove out back that goes into the cafeteria area that's in danger of falling. We hope to get that down before somebody gets hurt, but we'll get that down the next few days. I really don't anticipate any other change orders other than that one. So my recommendation is to approve all 5 of those change orders with one motion.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the change orders as discussed.
I make the motion.
Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do we have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion? All in favor? Carrie?
Aye.
There she is.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next on our agenda, Mr. Saylor, we need to discuss some more change orders. 1-3 for Stanford Builder.
That was them.
That was all of that.
Let's go to
Let's
item
go
5.
to item 5. Consideration and approval of the revised BG. Sorry about that.
Well, the BG one for the high school, as you know, there's been, we talked about this early on, that there was several change orders that we knew that we were going to accept that was bid as alternates as part of this project. I think currently, as the project stands, that that BG one is currently about $400,000 in the red. Because of those change orders that we've accepted over time. Now, normally KD would have already been jumping all over top of this, but because of 678, they've really set back. But we want to make sure when this is all said and done that KD has a good record of what we've done, and we want the BG ones to reflect the actual dollar amount that's spent. There was also a lot of equipment that's been involved with this because, as you know, for instance, the track equipment alone is about $75,000, $80,000 on this project. The lockers are about $80,000. So there's a lot of equipment that's been purchased for this project. So as you all know, we discussed last May, there's actually, and we'll talk about it in the budget here in a little bit, we set aside $1.4 million in a restricted board account that would pay for these change orders and the high school project, and also start a savings account that will help pay for the replacement of that turf field 10 to 12 years down the road. And I think that's wise on this board's part, that we're trying to make the avenue now by which future boards are not going to have to all of a sudden come up and have to come up with $600,000-$700,000 to replace turf on that field. So I really would commend the board for doing that. That's where the money is going to come for the revision on this BG1. I believe that we are adding $850,000. If you can go to that BG1, Jeremy, and open it so we can go all the way down to the funding items. And as you can see right there, that $850,000 that's going into the BG1, 450, I believe, of that is going into 350,000 is going into the equipment, and the rest of that balance is going into contingency, and that will pay for the change orders, and that pretty much gets us where we need to be. We should not be adding any more dollars to that particular project, and that will get us out. As you see, this brings the total cost of that project, if you go all the way down now, it brings the total cost to $15,088,000. So my recommendation to the board is to go ahead and approve that BG1 so that we sort of get off the bad list at KDE, even though they're not really hammering us by any means.
I need a motion to approve the revised BG1. Brian Covey makes a motion. Do we have a second? Sheila Samples makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote at this time. All in favor? Carrie? Aye. Okay, motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next on our agenda, we have the Esco County High School Esser Fieldhouse Restroom Renovation Project.
Real quick, Miss Isford, I've had something come up. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna ask Miss Isaacs if she could come up and finish. Peter, if you don't care, if you would lead through, but if you would, let's jump down and do the budget real quick. I'm prepared to do that. And then,
We can table it till next time. if you
well, the budget we need to
Okay.
approve. And then I will go on, and then Tanya, if you don't care, you can finish up the rest of the meeting. But let's jump down to the budget. I would let you know that the budget itself has not changed a lot from the budget that you all approved in May, and that's the way it should be. When you put that tentative budget out there, it should reflect pretty much what you would see during the approval of this budget. I would like to, I handed you all a sheet, if I can find it here. I'm trying to find mine. Just so you'll know, some changes in this budget would be that no in revenue, that SEEK is up $650,000. That's due to the extra $100 per child approved by the legislature and paying transportation at 80% instead of the 58% that it normally has. Tax revenue, based on your motion last time during the tax, would raise an additional $350,000. We do expect an increase in Medicaid reimbursement, and it's not showing up in the budget as to what we think it actually would be, so we've conservatively budgeted there, and there's no major changes in state and federal grants, and we've tried to keep the contingency, and it's at about $1.7 million. And you can see there in the budget, if you turn to page, I'll go back here. I believe it's page it. Page 8 is where it's showing the contingency. And if you look on page 8, it will show you that the contingency right now is sitting at $1.733 million. So just some budget items to note for you. Notice that we've reduced staffing by 6 certified positions. It does include your 3% raise and your $1 per hour classified raises. We did increase sick leave buyout due to the anticipation of retirements. Our nurses are also paid through Esser this year, which also freed up some of those funds. Of course, those nurses will need to come back to the general fund budget next year. We have no buses budgeted at this time. We have applied for a diesel grant, which would be for 2 electric school buses. If we do get that grant, then we may want to come back and use some contingency dollars to consider buying those 2 buses if we want to try to do that. We did increase our diesel costs because of the fact we know that diesel has went up, and we want to make sure that we're okay there. In maintenance, we purchased a tractor, we purchased a new lift that will allow us to get all of our lights and things that we need to change outdoors, which means we're no longer going to be renting that lift. It'll pay for itself in 2 years. Also, we'll be purchasing a forklift with the ATC, and that will give us the ability to offload trucks and do the things we need to do there. So in maintenance, we pretty much have put them at the top of the heap in terms of the equipment they have to work with. And we also have some final projects here at the central office, which means that we're going to be installing a handicap ramp out front. We're going to paint the central office, and then we're going to repair the gym stage, which means your renovations here are complete as well. The facilities, the restricted fund is there, 1.4 million, and we're going to move $850,000 of that here in the next few days because of that BG1, but that money is there. There's probably another $400,000 that's coming out of that fund to pay for some other high school issues that we've taken care of outside of the contract. But that's what that money was for. Our one-to-one computers are paid for through Esser now, so that $125,000 was transferred to Safe Schools. That money is now going to be used for the purchase of cameras and security equipment to secure our athletic facilities. If we made that big of an investment, we better make sure that we have security, and we're going to make sure that that's happening. Plus, also, we had to increase our SRO funding $50,000 to $90,000. Just some other things I'll point out. There is money in here for band instruments over the next 4 years, with the board contributing $20,000 and band boosters contributing $5,000. We will buy $100,000 of new instruments over the next 4 years for the band. And we also put in there, as you know, this superintendent's retiring. You'll need money to conduct a superintendent search. It's in the budget. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about the budget. You've had it for a few days now. And if you don't have any questions, my recommendation is to approve the working budget. And it is a working budget. It is a work in progress, and we'll continue to be tweaking this budget over time. And I'll give you for instance, yesterday we received, after you got this budget, we received a SEEK forecast, which reduced our SEEK funding $140,000. And the reason why it reduced our SEEK funding is because our tax revenue went up. So every time you increase local funding, it impacts your SEEK funding. So it did take away some money from us, but overall, we're still in a lot better shape. So if you got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. If not, then my recommendation is to approve that budget.
I need a motion to approve the FY23 working budget. Shayla Samples makes a motion, Brian Covey makes a second. Do we have any discussion or questions? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Carrie? Motion carries 5-0. Be careful, drive safe. Okay, so we were discussing the field house restroom renovation project.
That is correct. That's where we are. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here again with you all this evening. I'll do my best to keep things concise. Estill County High School, Esser Field House restroom renovation. They have not done work since before the first football game, but they have worked with the district on establishing a 7-day window in October to come in and do the floor finishes in the project. And in addition to that, we are going to have them create a family restroom off that main corridor into the football field. That's going to be a proposal request that we send their way. So they'll be working on getting that family restroom completed as well. I'm assuming most of this work will happen after the football season is over. So that's where we are on that project right now.
Does anybody have any questions or any discussion at this time? If not, we have consideration or approval of a pay application number 2 associated with direct purchase orders for the Estill County Field House renovation project, which is BG number 22-243 for $18,742.15.
And we have reviewed that pay application and the direct purchase orders. We feel like they represent work that has been completed and installed, and we recommend payment.
With that being stated, I'd like to call for a motion to approve that pay application. Do I have a motion? Tammy and Brian make a first and a second, and I'd like to call for a vote at this time. Carrie, are you still there?
Aye.
So motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, that brings us down to the middle school Esser restroom renovation project.
Okay.
Peter, can you give us an update?
I'm gonna head out. 'Cause
Oh.
I don't have anything. Well, I got the Estill Springs, but there's nothing going on there yet.
Okay.
And what is there?
We appreciate you coming. Be safe on the road.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
The middle school they've completed their work there. We are in the process of closing the project out. So this particular pay application just sort of represents getting us into position with one final change order to close out next month.
They look fantastic, by the way.
That's
Very clean.
sharp.
Yes.
Okay, so next on our agenda is consideration or approval of pay application number 4 for the Estill County Middle School renovation project, which is BG 22-175 for $123,737.68. That
Yeah.
was me.
That's a lot.
What in the world?
That was me.
We have also reviewed this pay application. It does represent work that has been completed and installed, and we would recommend payment.
You're watching, I make a motion.
Okay, so I have a first and second. Do we have any discussion on the floor? Okay, with not, I'd like to call for a vote at this time. All in favor? Carrie?
Aye.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Item number C3 is consideration or approval of change order number 2 for the middle school renovation project and BG 22-175 for Jarbo Construction in the amount of $37,950.
Yes, so big news on this one. This is a deduct for $37,950. So I want to make sure that you all are aware of that. There were some corner guards that were supposed to be installed in the restrooms, and we came up with an alternative route using caulk, and we feel really good about that. And it saved the district about $38,000. So that's what this change order is.
That's good.
So we need approval. Sheila makes a motion, Brian, or Tammy makes a second. Do we have any discussion? I'd like to call for a vote at this time. All in favor? Carrie?
Aye.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
No pun intended.
South Irving Early Childhood Center Esser renovation project, Peter.
Yeah, so the project's going well. Substantial completion for that project is around fall break, which is in October. Still a little bit of work to do on the outside of the building, but I was really glad to see that cast stone sills were installed today. That frees the contractor up to get the metal paneling on the side of the building. And we've been waiting a long time for the windows to arrive. They are due to be in October and will be installed in October as well. So they're going to be very close to that substantial completion date. They had a real significant delay in getting the windows. And that's where we are on that one. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions? If not, that brings us to item D2, which is consideration for approval of pay application number 4 for the South Urban Renovation Project BG 22-176 for $205,921.60.
Again, we have reviewed this carefully, and we do think that it represents work that has been completed and installed, and would recommend payment.
So do I have a motion? Brian Covey makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion on the floor? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Carrie?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next, that brings us down to item E for the West Urban Pavement Improvement Project.
Yes, so real quick, I do think that today when I was on site, I was there shortly after the contractor had left. It does look like they have, if they haven't completely finished grading, it looks really close to me. They had done all the hydro seeding around the site, and they have put up temporary handrails because they're still waiting on the handrails to arrive at the new concrete stair. I was under the impression that striping was going to happen at the end of this week, so that gives them tomorrow to get that done, and I'm hoping that that is the case. There's some other striping going on for the high school project tomorrow, so I'm hoping that same crew is planning on hitting both West Irvin and the high school. The handrails I've already mentioned are outstanding, and the light fixtures have been a material equipment sort of delay as well. But once we get the crew, the lot striped, and people can park there and people can line up there and queue up there for pickup, we'll feel pretty good, and we can get the light fixtures in when they come. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have on that one.
Although there yesterday, it looks great.
Yes, it is.
I continuously do drive-bys by all of our stuff that Peter and Codell and everybody else is working on, so it looks really good.
That's my lunch break. I get in my car and drive to all the schools. You never know when somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm out and about, that's what I do.
So that brings us down to consideration or approval of pay application number 2 associated with direct purchase orders for the West Irvin Elementary Pavement Project, BG number 22-178.
Again, we have reviewed this. I'm not sure. Oh, wait, I do know. I wrote it down. It's $104,789, I believe, is the amount that will be on the pay app with the DPOs.
Yeah.
And this has been reviewed by our office. We do feel like it represents work that has been installed and completed, and would recommend payment.
Okay. I need a motion for payment.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Brian Covey makes a second. Do we have any discussion? Like to call for a vote at this time. All in favor? Carrie? Motion carries 5-0 vote. Next, E3 is consideration or approval of change order number 2 for the West Irvin Elementary Project, BG 22-178, and the total amount of this change order is $14,640.67.
Yes. So this change order was to address sort of a found condition once they opened up the dirt there with some existing piping locations and some existing piping elevations. They had to address 3 different drainage structures and do some additional trenching and adjust drainage structure elevations. And that's what this change order is for. You also might note, I just want to make sure the board understands and notes that there were 8 days added to the contract period for them to manage this work. So it's the 14,640.67 and 8 additional days were added to the contract time that they had to get the work done.
So do we have a motion to approve the change order? Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Any discussion? I'd like to call for a vote at this time. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next on our agenda, we have our district central storage building demolition project, which is better known as the old Irving High project.
So I'll give you guys just a quick update on that. We don't have any action items for these next two, so that's awesome. We can get through these pretty quickly. I would like to let you know that the contractor for the demolition project still had some additional grading left to do on site. They were hit very hard by the flooding in July near Jackson, and they have indicated to us and to the superintendent that they're going to need to pull off the site. Fortunately, we have a whole bunch of contractors landing on that site right now to get Estill Springs started. And Mr. Saylor, along with RTA and Codell and Rising Sun, have been working on a way for them, Rising Sun, to sort of pick up the additional grading work that is remaining in the contract for Old Irving. And we will be letting you guys know how all of that works out as we move forward with it. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about that.
I remember Mr. Saylor saying they lost everything but maybe a couple pieces of equipment.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, they were flooded to above the roof line, I think, of their business, so.
Okay. So if nothing further, we'll move on to the Estill Springs Elementary Esser Renovation and Addition project.
Yeah, so Codell's trailer has been moved from the high school. It's over by Estill Springs, the pool building at Estill Springs. Slowly but surely, all the contractors that are finishing up at the high school will be trickling over to Estill Springs. We do anticipate getting started on the far east side of that project, which is the parking that's sort of furthest away. And I think we'll probably have our first progress meeting on that project in a couple of weeks. So I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have them about Estill Springs.
We're just getting started. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are always so patient. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Peter.
You're
All right.
dismissed, Peter.
We appreciate
Be
it.
careful on the road.
Okay.
I don't know what he's gonna do when he's not with us
I
anymore.
don't know.
This was kind of his second home.
I know. I know.
You either love her or you hate it right now. I'm not sure which one it is.
I love her. I really do. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Be careful. Well, next on our agenda was approval of the working budget. So we've already discussed that and we approved it. So next on our agenda is our consent items. And I think all of those have been given to us this week, and hopefully you had a chance to review some of those. Ms. Isaacs, do you have anything to share about any of those items?
No, I don't think so, unless you all have questions. I think they're pretty self-explanatory.
So we have approval of the minutes from the August 26th special call board meeting. We have approval of the treasurer's report and payment of bills, and all of that was provided to us prior to the board meeting. We have our MOA with Bluegrass Community and Technical College. We have our 2022 technology surplus sale, and then we have approval of shortened school day forms, and then a lease agreement with Faust Oil. And if there's any questions or anything, I'm sure that Ms. Isaacs could answer those at this time. If not, all of these can be made with one motion to approve the consent items. Ms. Sheila Samples makes a motion and Brian Covey makes a second. Do we have any discussion on the floor at this time? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Carrie makes it a 5-0 vote. Thank you for that. Next on our agenda was the superintendent's report. Mr. Saylor just texted me and wanted me to share that he suddenly had to leave. His wife is very ill, and we please be in prayer for them. But Miss Isaacs graciously is filling in. And do you have anything to add to the superintendent's report?
No, I was wondering, did he pass out his report?
Yeah, I think it's all in your packet.
Okay, I don't have that in front of me, so.
Does anybody have any comments? It was notification of your personnel items that we get each board meeting. It was our school and update of our enrollment and attendance.
I think it would be good.
And
Okay.
that comes
If
from,
Mr. Norton could kind of recap us on attendance, that would be great.
come forward, Mr. Norton. Come forward.
You want me to sit here at the microphone?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
So if you look at our enrollment first, our enrollment's up 125 students in comparison to ending last year, which is great. We just finished our first month of school at the beginning of, I think it was September the 9th. We had decent attendance. We had a few weeks where COVID was kind of high in certain schools. So we had, if you'll click on the ADA, the next. So we were in the 80s a few weeks, but we've kind of set a goal of 92, and that's kind of where we're trying to stay. I will say that we just had high attendance day as far as the state and the DPP Association. I don't know how this happened, but West Irving and Estill Springs tied in ADA for that. And so what you do, because I had to call the association to determine how do I see the winner is, so you go to the prior day. So on the prior day, Estill Springs had an ADA of 94 and 81 hundredths, and West Irving had 94 and 4 hundredths. So Estill Springs did win our high attendance for elementary, so we have sent that ADA to our region. If they are the winner, then they will get a $500 gift card, and they can spend it how they want to. So hopefully that number holds out. I do know that we have beat Powell County. So the other regions and districts haven't finalized and cleaned up their data. Model in Madison County is in our region. Lee is in our region. Clark is in our region. But the only one that I know is Powell County. She and I kind of contact back.
The rest of them are going down.
So, it looks good. What I will say, and this is my second year, but Estill Springs after the first month has no truancy in their building. No student has more than 3.
That's great.
And that just goes to show that system's working at Estill Springs. Every school is doing really well with giving what we have. I think West Irving only has 6 kids truant right now, so that's tremendous work. And I will say, there are some that maybe we just can't, it's my fault because I can't find them. I've been all over this county looking for them, but we don't want to unenroll them, so that's where we are with enrollment in ADA.
Thank you.
Mr. Norton does a wonderful
I know he
job,
does. He does.
and so do our schools. I appreciate our attendance clerks because they're doing the calling and they're making sure that things are in there correctly. And Peggy Bryant too, I want to give a shout out to Peggy. She kind of keeps us grounded here and she keeps Infinite Campus going, so that's a plus. So, thank you, Mr. Norton.
Thank you, Mr. Norton. I think on our superintendent's report, there were also several fundraisers that were sent in to us. One was for the cheerleaders for Spirit Week. That'll be coming up for throughout the year, and they wanted to do face painting. They also had asked about a school dance, sucker sales, and cookie dough sales. We also had information on a scholastic book fair, and that was for books, bookmarkers, posters, pencils, and journals. And then we also had one from the PTO, which is the Parent Teacher Organization. They requested various fundraisers throughout the year, and they would like to sell blow pops, boograms, small gift items for the Santa shop, and have a winter carnival. If anyone has any questions or any concerns about any of that, that was on the superintendent's report. And is there anything else? He had a professional growth plan for him, but he's not here to really
No,
discuss that.
he needs to discuss that.
So we'll
yes.
let him discuss that. If you don't have anything else, Ms. Isaacs, I'll go ahead and ask our board members if they have anything to discuss.
I'm not sure I understand.
She doesn't understand. However, I do, so.
We're glad.
Yeah. Just the week that we had the grand opening, you know, the Powell County football game, I had COVID during that time. Thank you for doctoring me. And just getting to go to the next football game, and I just always echo the sentiments of what William said the opening night. He just kept saying via NFHS that when you walk in there, you almost feel like you're not in Estill County.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I just, when I got to my seats, I don't know what it is. It's almost silly, 50-year-old man about wanting to cry, but it was just overwhelming just to, just to take it all in. It's just crazy that we have what we have. I'm so appreciative to the central office staff, all of our principals, all of our teachers, Mr. Dorton, getting these kids back in here. I've never been more excited to be a part of a district. I'll just say that. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this seems like a very smooth running year.
Yes.
Coming off COVID. It's amazing.
Everybody's excited to be back in school.
Right. And we have so many new programs in place.
Yeah, I was wanting to see my child for the first time in a long time loves school. Thank you, Miss Dennis, for pulling her out of the car so many mornings. So, I mean,
Well, it's one of those things that we discuss over and over, that we had a vision, we have visionaries, we're moving forward, the train is rolling, and it's a great time to be an engineer.
Yes.
And we're so excited to be moving forward with all of this. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to share? I also have a student representative that's new tonight, and we've not really had a chance to have her here. And so this is Miss Abby Smith. And do you want to tell everyone who your parents are and all of those things so everyone knows?
My mom was a teacher at the middle school, Miss Brandy Smith. My dad's Jason Smith. I'm a senior.
I just wanted everyone to be sure that they knew who you were and give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, and we're really glad you're here, and we look forward to having you this year.
And she's my neighbor.
She's a price girl.
She's a price girl. And if you see a tractor or a truck, a big equipment on the road, it's her daddy.
And do we have any comments from any of our principals that are here, or anyone else that needs to share anything? We appreciate you all being here.
Being new to the district, I'm very impressed with our staff. Specifically, a few weeks ago, we got hit really hard with COVID, and Nikki, the assistant, and I both said, everybody stepped up, everybody taught an extra class, everybody else the schedule for a couple of days, so I like to commend our staff for getting us through that and keeping our train running.
Awesome.
Great job, great job.
Awesome. Thank you. And Miss Arvin and Miss Jessica, they've had lots of construction all around, and lots of people moving in and out and moving parts in the parking lot. And we appreciate you all being patient with that, and so has Mr. Yost, and so has Miss Tony Garrett Hall. So we appreciate everyone's patience with that.
They go with the flow.
Yeah. Mr. Simpson, do we have any public comments? None at this time? All right. With nothing further, then I'd like to call for this meeting to come to an adjournment. Miss Shayla Samples and Miss Tammy Hardy. And we got